Hey guys, it's Elliot here with Empirical 360 and welcome to part 2 of our medical marketing webinar series. So in this series, we're going to be talking about using Google Ads and Facebook ads to get more patients. So in part 1 of our series, we talked about optimizing your website for paid traffic, trying to get things together to increase the conversion rate. And now we're going to talk about how to actually get traffic to your site. And in this presentation, we're going to start with a PowerPoint demo of Google Ads, go into a live demo of actually working inside the platform, and then we're going to do the same with Facebook ads. So I'll dive right in here. So as I just said, the outline is Google Ads. We're going to talk about how it works and why it's different to Facebook ads. Then we'll do a live demo. I'll talk about the keyword planner. I'll show you what a simple campaign structure looks like. We'll write some basic ads, and then I'll have a resources slide on here for you for some more in-depth how-tos so you can actually run some Google ads, set up your conversion tracking, so on and so forth. After that, we will do a Facebook ads overview. We're going to talk about how it works, why it's different than Google ads, but still a very valuable traffic source. And then we'll do a live demo here as well, where we do a basic campaign structure. We'll talk about remarketing, we'll do some targeting options in there, and then we will create an ad. So let's go ahead and dive in. Also, the resources at the end here, again, those can also be found on our YouTube channel. I supplied a few links for you to review. There are also many others, and we continually update that YouTube library, so keep an eye there. So for the purposes of this demonstration, we are going to be setting up an account for an orthopedic surgeon who performs the following procedures: a knee replacement, hip replacement, and other arthroscopic procedures. But this can apply to any medical professional. If you're a dentist, it could be dentist, it could be teeth cleaning, it could be braces, it could be whatever it is. Very basic terms that apply to your business pretty much. So Google Ads. Let's talk about the key elements of Google Ads. The biggest difference with Google Ads, and I'm specifically talking about the search market in this case, is this is the one instance where the customer actually comes to you instead of you putting ads in front of them. So on Google, the dynamic shift is when someone types in a phrase such as hip replacement doctor or hip replacement surgeon near me, they're coming to you, and all you're doing is putting your ad in front of them on the top 4 search results and hoping that they click it. And so that's a big dynamic shift because there's a lot of intent behind that user. And once they click your ad, they're pretty likely to convert, in the 20% to 30% range from a click to an actual lead. So that is one of the few differences between Google Ads and a lot of other advertising platforms. And again, it's specifically the search market, is the customer is actually coming to you instead of you to them. So that's important. So here's some basic Google Ads terminology. We have campaign. You'll hear that word thrown around a lot, but this is where you set your budget, your ad schedule, your bidding options, and locations. And this is the main structure that houses the rest of the ad groups and ads and keywords and things. So this is the top level. Next is ad groups, and this is where you nest your keywords that you're going to be targeting, and this houses your keywords and your ads. So you'll see a diagram here on the next slide. And then ads. So this is the ads that the people actually click on, and this is where you write what they're going to, actually look like on the Google search results page. So here is the structure that I just discussed. You can see the AdWords account at the top level, and then you have an ad campaign. Below that you have ad groups, and then below that you have keywords and ads, and then landing pages, which we talked about in part 1 of the series. So a Google structure for an orthopedic surgeon could be a campaign would be hip replacement. So that's the main campaign, and we're going to house all the different terms relating to hip replacement in this campaign. One of the ad groups could be hip replacement surgeon, and you can put keywords related to that, or you can do what are called single keyword ad groups, which is what we prefer to do. And there's an actual how-to video on how to set those up. And then after the keywords are the ads, and Google recommends 2 expanded text ads and 1 responsive ad at the time of this video. They update that every couple months where they'll make a recommendation on what you should have in your account. So we are going to dive in and return to this PowerPoint. So we're going to first talk about the keyword planner, then we're going to talk about the structure, and I'm actually going to create it in front of you. We're going to write 1 basic ad, just something very, very generic. Obviously, it's for the purposes of this video. And then I'll show you the resources tab and talk about what's there. So let's go over to the Google Ads interface. And we're going to talk about the keyword planner first. So if you go to tools up here in the top right, actually enlarge my screen a little bit, and you go to keyword planner, you'll come to something like this where it says discover new keywords. And again, we're an orthopedic surgeon, and in this campaign that we're creating, we're going to be looking for hip replacement keywords. So we can start very broad with the word hip replacement. So this is someone who's just searching pretty much at the very beginning stages of the funnel. Next, we can add hip replacement surgeon. And this is someone who's now looking for a doctor. So they're a little bit further down the funnel. This is a term that we definitely want to target. And then, you can, if you really are wanting to kind of branch out and be a little more aggressive, you could do hip replacement symptoms and more research-based terms. But for now, these two keywords will probably be more than enough. And I'm going to change my location. So we're located in Tampa. So we'll just do Tampa. We'll do the DMA region. And it shows you on the map where you're looking to target. That may be too much, too little. If you have multiple clinics, you can create campaigns per clinic location. And that should be enough for us. So now it shows you some forecasts and how many clicks you can get. So we're just gonna go ahead and add these two keywords to our plan, and it'll give you more ideas, which is nice. So you can get total hip replacement, hip surgery, anterior hip replacement, and the list goes on and on and on, and it shows you the level of competition and the bids that they expect you to pay if you're gonna be bidding on these keywords. So we will add those to our plan. That worked. Let's go. So we're going to create a new ad group here. And that should have worked. Nope. So we go back to keyword ideas. I'll select my keywords that I want. Add those to my, there we go, add keywords. So now I go here to the keywords tab, and it shows the two keywords that I've added. And remember, it was said Google recommended a $6 bid. So I'm gonna have $6 bid here, update the bid, and then it'll show me what I can expect in a month's time. So at a $6 bid, and again, sometimes I find that this is a little, it could be a little inaccurate. It tends to be a little bit more than what this thing recommends. So I may bump this up just to be conservative in my estimates to a $9 bid. Which will toggle this up a little bit, and then it'll estimate how much I could spend on a monthly basis, and then you can put in a conversion rate here. And so let's say you're converting at 10%, and then this is the expectation of the campaign. So if every click converts at 10% to a lead, you can expect 30 conversions a month at a price of $1,400, which is an average lead cost of $46, which is not too bad, especially if you're performing a surgery that may net you $2,000 to $3,000 or whatever it may be. But this is something to consider before you actually commit money to your campaign. So this is what you could expect. So now that we know that hip replacement and hip replacement surgery are two keywords that we want to target, we are actually going to build a campaign with those two keywords. So what we do is we navigate to the Google Ads interface here. We're going to create a new campaign. And I like to do it without a goal. If you choose goals, Google may add some settings in there that they think are good. And that's not to say that they're wrong, but initially they don't really know how your account's gonna perform, so there's no data to make any of these decisions. So we're gonna click this, we're gonna choose search, and we're gonna click continue. So we will name this orthopedic hip replacement. And this little checkbox here is very important. So instead of saying search, network, and display, so display our banner ads, you want to make sure that you choose search network, because this is where people type in keywords to find you, and display is showing your ads on various websites in banner form. And so that can be a great source for leads, but it also can waste a lot of money if it doesn't work right off the bat. And it's a setting that if you do not uncheck, it can really waste a lot of money for you. So targeting, we're gonna choose Tampa, and we'll target that. English is the language. Audiences you can ignore. Budget per day, you can do whatever you want. Let's just say it's $5 per day. That may not get you any clicks, but I'm just doing it for this campaign. And then Google is going to ask you what do you want to focus on. In the beginning, I recommend just clicks, and then later on you can test different bid strategies and things. But this is a very, very basic campaign. So I would do manual CPC, and then I uncheck enhanced CPC, because at this point Google has no data on your account, so there's really nothing for them to optimize at this point. And then I'll click save and continue. So ad group 1, we're going to go with hip replacement. We're going to put a default bid in there of $6, and then we add our keyword hip replacement. And I recommend doing phrase match. There are a couple other match types, but phrase match is a very safe one in the beginning, especially if you're not actively managing these campaigns. It will weed out a lot of broad traffic. And if you want to, there's something called exact match, which they have to type that word in exactly. Not a lot of variations there, but again, it filters out traffic. So we're going to save and continue. And now it asks us to create an ad. So we'll do our website. We'll just send them to this for now. Headline 1, so what I like to do when it comes to writing ads is have the target keyword in the ad itself. So I will do something location specific, Tampa's top and I'm out of characters, so you have 30 characters to work with, so we'll just leave it at Tampa's top hip replacement. And we'll say work with doctor, my name, even though I'm not a doctor. And then headline 3, we could do most insurances accepted. And whatever value propositions you really want to stress here is what you want to put in the headlines, because that is the most prominent piece of the ad. Path 1 is just for visual purposes for the end user. So what you want to do here is, again, reiterate the keyword that they're searching, because it's that scent trail that we talked about in part 1. So we'll put hip and we'll put replacement. Description 1, we can put whatever we want here. And I tend to capitalize the first letter in every word. The best town, obviously this is fake. And then description 2. And in these description lines, you definitely want to fill up all 90 characters or as close to it as you can, because the bigger your ad is, the more prominent it's going to be and the more likely someone it is to click on it. Please work with us. And again, these are terribly written ads. This is not how we write ads, but you want to communicate your value propositions here, whatever they may be. And then you click done. Google recommends that you have, again, 3 ads, 2 expanded text ads, 1 responsive at this time, but we're just going to write that one. So now that the ads are created, your campaign is ready to roll. So it's just that simple to set up a campaign. Again, I'll show you what it looks like. This is the hierarchy of the campaign. You have the top level. This is the campaign name, orthopedic hip replacement. Inside here, you have the ad groups, which you can see here on this left-hand tab. In the ad group, you have the keyword, and then you also have the ads, which is, this is what the person clicks on when they search you in Google. And what that looks like is, if I search hip replacement, you'll see a couple different ads come up. That's not a word people are going after. Tampa. So here you go. Here's an ad, and then at the bottom of the page, there are more ads. So that's what it looks like. So let's return to the PowerPoint now. All right, so that was the live demo. I showed you the structure, how to write an ad, and then here are the different resources that we have for Google Ads. So I talked about the single keyword ad groups, which is a format that we use. It's just a more granular format, and it really helps that scent trail that we talked about in part 1 of this series, having the user see the keyword in the ad headline, having them see it on the landing page, and keeping that scent trail alive. Excuse me. So number 2 is tracking calls. So when you set your account up, you want to make sure that you have conversion tracking in there, because you can't really tell how your ads are doing if this is not set up correctly. And phone calls are a major part of medical marketing. A lot of people tend to call in. So tracking your phone calls is very important, and that's what this video goes over. It shows you how to use the call software that we use. Very straightforward, very easy to do. The next video I have here is tracking form submissions. So not only do people tend to call in a lot, but if you have a book appointment button on your website or fill out a form to get more information, that could be an action that you're looking to optimize, and this is how you track that action inside Google Ads. And the next thing, and this is just a little bit of a bonus, a little bit more advanced, segmenting by device. So this can be really important in a campaign, especially if you have a limited budget, because we tend to see devices perform differently. So if you have a desktop device and a mobile device, we tend to see a lot of traffic coming from mobile, but that's not to say mobile will always perform the best for you, especially if your website is not mobile optimized. So by segmenting your campaigns by device, it allows you to allocate your budget more effectively. And again, that's more of an advanced topic, but it is definitely a trend we see inside our clients' accounts that device performance varies by mobile, tablet, and desktop. So something to consider. And again, that video explains it a little bit more in depth once you watch it. So if you have any questions, again, my email is at the end of this video and you can reach out to us anytime about Google Ads, but we are gonna now dive into Facebook ads. So Facebook ads are great for building a relationship with your clients. You have a lot of space to work with when it comes to the ad format. You can show videos, you can show images, and you can write a lot more text. Facebook is also great at generating demand. So what does that mean exactly? So in Google Ads, specifically search marketing like we were talking about, you're simply meeting a demand because the customer or patient is typing in a phrase and you're showing an ad to them because they typed in that phrase. So only when people are actively looking for your services can you show them ads. Now Facebook is different. People are hanging out on Facebook, and this is where they're kind of wasting time or going on there to be entertained. But if you have a good ad, you can now catch their attention and generate their curiosity or demand. So where a Google ad account may not have that much volume in a small radius, like let's say 10 miles around your business, Facebook will have a much larger volume pool of people, because again, a lot of people are on Facebook hanging out. And so that is why we really like Facebook, because you can generate demand with it. And again, the demographic targeting is very accurate on Facebook. So it's a really good platform used in conjunction with Google. Google, you may have a lot more high quality. And that's not to say you don't have high quality in Facebook, but sometimes you'll see higher quality in Google. And Facebook, you can get a lot of volume and it tends to be cheaper. So it's a really nice balancing act, and they balance each other out very nicely. And again, remarketing on Facebook and Google work well together also. So Google ad or Facebook ads terminology. So the pixel, the big bad pixel, everyone's always talking about the pixel. It sounds super complicated. It's really not. The Facebook pixel is a piece of code that you place on your website that allows you to track conversions and then also build audiences. So pretty much what it is it tags every user that comes to your site, and it can tell if they fill out a form. It can build an audience off of them, so that's what allows you to retarget these users. So once they're on your site, you can follow them around Facebook, for 30 days, 60 days, whatever it is you want. But that's what the pixel is used for. And again, it's literally a piece of code like this big that you put on your site. It's nothing to be intimidated by, and it's very simple to set up. Campaign goals. So choose what Facebook wants to optimize for, and there are a bunch of different ones. We tend to use conversions because obviously we want more conversions, which in this case are phone calls or form submissions. But they have conversion types like traffic, so just generating traffic, generating video views, generating page likes, and there's a whole list of them right here at this link. Which campaign objective should you use? So you can follow that link to find out more. So some more terminology here. There's the campaign, very similar to Google Ads, and this is where you define your goal or objective of the campaign, and this is what houses your ad sets. So ad sets, this is where you define your targeting, budget, schedule, bidding, and placement, all at the ad set level. So there's a lot that's done at the ad set level, and you have multiple ad sets per campaign. And then the last piece of this is the ad, and this is where you put your video or your picture and the text that you want to go along with it, and pretty much send people where you want to send them. So our approach. So Facebook is very, very smart, and they know a lot about you. And why am I telling you that? Obviously, you probably know that, but it's important to know because a lot of people tend to get very, very, for lack of a better word, sexy with their targeting. They try and do way too much inside an ad set where they're trying to cross-reference a person with this demographic and this amount of earning potential and this zip code. And by the time you do all that targeting, you pretty much have like 10 people in your audience, which is not enough for Facebook. So when you choose a conversion campaign, which is the main campaign we're going to focus on here, you want to let Facebook do the heavy lifting for you. So if you get some conversions from your Google traffic and traffic on your website, Facebook knows those conversions are happening because you tell it to define those as conversions. And then all you tell Facebook to do is, hey, go out and find more people like this. And they're very, very good at it. So when you start a campaign at Facebook, start small and start somewhat broad if you already have traffic on your website that's converting, and Facebook will start to do the heavy lifting for you. They'll start to find more people in that demographic and pretty much get more conversions for you because they want your ads to work so you continue spending on their platform. So again, Facebook's very smart. They know more about everybody than I do or you do, so let them do the work for you. Try not to get too granular with your audiences until you've kind of mastered the broad audience. So that's my recommendation, and it's worked very well for us. So, all right, so now we're gonna jump into a live demo. So I will navigate away from this, and then we will come back for the resources. So here is the Facebook ads interface, and this is just our account, not really running much right now. So what you do is you go here to the create button, and this is gonna create a new campaign. And then remember I discussed all the different campaign goals that you have here. We're gonna choose conversions because that's what we want. And we can name this conversions, and we'll name it orthopedic doctor. And I click continue. So my campaign is now created. Now I'm moving to the ad set. And so let's say I am looking for, I'm an orthopedic doctor and I want more people from the ages of like 20 to 35 who play sports because they have a good chance of tearing their ACL. That's not the best thing to hope for, but again, that's what we're going for. So I'll name this 20 to 35 ACL. And so pixel, I'm gonna choose the pixel that I'm going for here, and then choose an event, and I'm gonna choose lead. And I've already defined this previously, and in the resources tab, I have a how-to video on how to set up a custom conversion for your Facebook tracking. I usually leave this blank. I let Facebook take the reins. Again, I let them do a lot pretty much because they want good results for me. And then if it's way out of whack when I start running the campaign, then I go in here and start messing with cost controls and bids and things like that. Let's say my daily budget is 20. That's fine. I'm good with that. Run my ads continuously, so they'll run 24 hours. Again, you can do a schedule if you'd like. And again, I leave most of these pretty broad and pretty much at Facebook's general setting. Create a new audience. So this would be if I had a custom audience. Right now, I'm just going to use the detailed targeting in here, and so we will do Tampa as my location. And we'll do 25 miles is fine. And we want to do people from 20 to 35. And we'll do all, men and women. Everybody's pretty active in this age range. And then I'm gonna choose people who are into sports. Let's see what it comes up with. So people who are into sports, you can even get a little more, targeted. Again, I don't want to go too crazy here. If they're interested in soccer, because a lot of people who play soccer get hurt. Soccer coach as a job title, that's interesting. But people who are interested in, let's just say they're soccer fans. So that's my audience. And I'll leave it just that segmented because if I wanted to do basketball, I would do that in another ad set. So that way I could track how many leads are coming out of my soccer ad set, how many leads are coming out of my basketball ad set, and so on and so forth. That way, if one is performing better than the other, I can put more money in that one. Automatic placements, so you can choose where it will show on Facebook. Facebook has a lot of different placements, and all that means is it can show in the news feed, it can show on the right hand side, it can show on Insta videos, it can show on Instagram. I'll just do automatic placements for now, just because for the most part it shows in the Facebook feed, and you can view that data later. So all I do is hit continue. And now it wants me to create an ad. So choose the Facebook page you want to run to, make sure it says the page that you're actually running to, and I'll add some media. And so I have a library of images here, and I'll just choose a random one. Again, you want the image to obviously be relevant to what you're doing. And we'll write some text. So we'll do Hurt playing soccer. It's bad, I don't know how to spell soccer. See Dr. Elliott for help. And here you can do a headline, you can do free MRI review. And again, on Facebook, a lot of offers work better than just most going straight for the contact information. So free MRI review is a nice offer. You can add a description, so top Tampa doctor. And then it wants a website that you're going to send it to, so we'll send them right to our homepage. And then a display link. This will be auto-generated if you don't add one in there. And then you can choose your call to action button. So you could do learn more, you could do book now, you could do contact us. We'll choose contact us. And it shows you a nice little preview for your ad, and you can see what it looks like on desktop. You can see what it looks like on instant articles, Facebook in-stream video, and these are all the different placements that Facebook has. So we'll just look at it on the desktop news feed. And this is a really, again, this is a very basic ad, not very nice. What you would want there is a very relevant image to obviously soccer players. You'd want a little more text, build a little more value, have maybe a stronger offer, although free MRI review is a pretty good deal. So this is very simple. Also, you can upload a video here if you want. And video is a very, very effective way to run ads on Facebook because it catches people's attention and it gives a lot of information without people having to read. So that is our basic ad, and all you do is hit confirm, and boom, your campaign is finished. So that is Facebook ads interface. And now we will go to our resources for Facebook. So, sorry, I'll go back one. You saw us create a basic campaign structure. You saw us create an audience of soccer players ages 20 to 35. That was the targeting, that was the audience. And then you saw me create a very basic ad. Again, that was not the best ad creation in the world, but that's pretty much what you want your ad to look like. You want to have an image, a nice offer, some supporting text, pretty much your value proposition is very similar to Google, except you don't have any text restraints. So you can write a book on that description if you really want. And it's if people want to read it, let them read it. If not, hopefully they click through to your ad. So here are some Facebook ads resources. So here I show you how to create audiences, and this is not just audiences from Facebook's detailed targeting, that little section that we added in soccer players. This is people who have interacted with your website. So if you want to target people who have hit your homepage, you can do that. If you want to target people who have hit your knee replacement page and show them ads relevant to knee replacement, you can do that. And that's very, very helpful for both remarketing and creating lookalike audiences, which there's also a video in there on lookalike audiences. Installing your pixel. This is probably the hardest part in running Facebook ads for some people if you're not very web savvy, but there is a video on how to do it. It's just, like I said, a simple piece of code that you put on your website, and once you have that, you're pretty much good to go. Custom conversions. This is the last piece of the puzzle. If you have these three things, you're pretty much golden. Custom conversions. So you can either do an event snippet on Facebook, which is a little more complicated, or you can create a custom conversion using the pixel. So if you say everyone who has hit the thank you page after filling out a form is a lead, Facebook knows that, and that will count as a conversion in your campaign, and now it has something to optimize to. So with these three resources, you can really run an effective Facebook ads campaign. Okay, so that is the end. Again, that was a lot of information, a lot of detail, but I tried to do it in the most basic way possible so you could actually set up both a Google Ads account and Facebook Ads account and actually start getting some leads. So my advice to you is I would start slow, very small budgets in your accounts. You don't want to go crazy because you can burn a lot of money very quickly. And if you have any questions, again, please feel free to reach out. My email's here, our number's on the website, and hope to see you in part 3 of our webinar series.